Howdy, folks. Greetings from the fourth day of Wimbledon here in London, England. I'm going to tell you a story because I'm a storyteller and that's what storytellers do. And I feel like telling a story today. So here it is. This story is going to involve creativity versus creation and lighthouse energy, which I believe is actually a bigger energy than king energy, or queen energy, which is what I spoke of in Soliloquy 17. So, where to start this one? Well, I suppose I'll start, my book was ready to go probably in October. And there were all of these series of delays. And then I've been waiting on something since April and more delays. Still haven't gotten the contract I'm waiting on. I know it's gonna come through any day, but. So when I'm not anchored in like a creative project, I feel unmoored. And while I'm always creative, I believe I'm generally in a state of creativity because I'm a creative person, and it's kind of who I've trained myself to be to a certain extent over however many years. I remember when I was younger and I wanted to be a creative person. I saw all these people and they just seemed like they were doing all this cool stuff. And I was like, I want to be creative. But I couldn't even sort of admit I was a writer for so many years because I wasn't publishing things. In my new book, I say, well, writers write. That's what they do. And, and creativity is a state of being. Creation is something else. So I think the difference between creativity and creation is that when we move into creation is a forward momentum, and as you do that, you become a vortex for ideas, for serendipities, for synchronicities, and when you intentionally move into creation, you start to draw the ideas, not only the ideas, but the people to you that can begin to help you facilitate or execute upon these ideas. So for all of these months, I've been creative, but I haven't been in creation. I'll say creative in the fact that I was like chipping away on all these projects, always writing down ideas as they come in, but I wasn't formulating them into something. So I'm gonna sidestep and step back for a moment and talk about once I moved into creation, like I said, the people started coming to me. So I kind of have this little team of friends. I can call them spiritual advisors, even because they look out for my welfare on a sort of a higher level and guide me sort of in some decision making and something. And one friend said that I need to start creating a course out of my book before it even is published. And that thought had never occurred to me, and I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I'll set up like a Zoom and I'll teach, a little bit at a time to people, and maybe 20 people at a time. And then, as I started to move into this, new people started showing up, and people who not older people, but I do have older friends. I'm not age discriminatory, but people from different parts of my life showed up in new ways with new information. And it's a big pause, isn't it? It's a big dramatic pause. So once I started moving into this idea, it blew up, and people were like, why don't you just do a whole video course? And then, this is kind of how it works. I went out with some girl in January, and, good connection, no fireworks or anything, but like a good connection, friends. And she kept saying forever, like, you got to meet my cousin. He's going to love you. And I just feel like you guys are on the same path. And he's 30 years old, and she got him a copy of my book, and he really, really connected to it. And he lives out in the desert near where I do. And he started, texting me. He's like, hey, I'd love to meet you and ask you a bunch of questions. And I'm like, sure, let's do it. So we wound up meeting probably like a week or two before I left, 2 weeks before I left on this trip. And as it turns out, he is a film guy and works for a little production company. And so anyway, this little Zoom has all of a sudden become this course that I'm going to be kind of creating this summer. And it's going to be slightly different from my book because it's a different medium, it's a different delivery. So anyway, then a friend of mine went to a Joe Dispenza workshop recently, and she's pretty connected. She was pretty connected already, but it's like she just popped and she just got activated. And she told me she had some meditations that I was a part of. Her guides were telling her some things to tell me. And, I'm a pretty open person. So I was like, all right, let me hear it. And she started talking about lighthouse energy. And I said, well, tell me more. That's very interesting because I've written in the intention part of my gratitude and intention journal many times that I want to be a lighthouse for other people. So, she spoke of two aspects. Well, she told me this whole vision, right? So it was a vision. So it was not kind of in linear language, but she's like, I'm going to tell you this and you need to kind of co-opt it and make it your own. So on the flight over, I listened to, her messages a couple times and I was sort of transcribing them into my journal. And she said there's two aspects of the lighthouse. There is being the lighthouse, being the projector of light, and then there is those who see the lighthouse. And she said, I want you to really think about these two aspects. So I did on the way over. So for those who see the lighthouse, it's a beacon of hope and light. It is safety and guidance. It's a place of congregation. It's something to look up to. It's a navigational tool. And it's a place to celebrate safety. Now, to be the lighthouse yourself, to be the lighthouse is to be strength and fortitude in times of, it is to be strength and fortitude in storms and time, over the course of time. It's to be the light of wisdom that outlasts time. It's to be a light in the darkness for others, again, to steer and navigate towards. And it's a place that requires maintenance and upkeep, and it is to be a way shower for others. So I guess I'm calling on all of you, if you're watching this, or if you follow me, maybe you follow me curiously, or else you're really into kind of the content I put out. But I would say that people who are probably following me and people who will read my new book in the course and even my old book, I would say that we're all explorers of consciousness. We are pioneers of consciousness. And, I think as you go deeper into the information and, sort of what we're doing here at a much deeper level, I would call on all of you to think more deeply about lighthouse energy and to be the lighthouse for others. That is how, I think about the writers of my youth. I think I spoke of them in another video, but Kerouac, Herman Hesse, John Steinbeck, Ernest Hemingway, they were these lighthouses in a way. They showed a way. They extolled. They expressed what it means to be human, and in that they were way showers. Especially, I'll say it again, but like Herman Hesse, this book, Narcissus and Goldman, was one of the most influential books of probably my late teens and early 20s. But they were lighthouses. As artists, they were lighthouses to me. So I would say that, I would call upon all of you to think about lighthouse energy and to become the lighthouse. Be a way shower for others. You know, show them that, you know, the new way of being is to not live in fear. You know, if I could wish anything upon for the world, it would be for people to transcend fear. And what's the opposite of fear? It's love, it's wholeness, it's oneness, it's compassion, it is acceptance, it's discussion and communication. Because I think in this super polarized world we're living in, you know, the media and everyone else has done such a good job in like, okay, if you like this, then you're Trump and a right-wing Republican. And if you think this way, then you are, you know, a Biden, whatever. And there is no centrist anymore. There is no central. And you know why? It's because there are no discussions. I was in this bar with this pub here the other night with three friends. And they're all German. And they were like, there is no discussion in America. It's black or white. Life is not black or white. So anyway, again, I don't know. I think that's all I got to say for now. If you like it, subscribe on YouTube, hit the little subscribe button. I can't believe I'm becoming one of those people, but I have a feeling I'm going to have a lot more to say on this trip. I actually recorded a video yesterday that was 30 minutes long. And I think I'm going to use that as extra content in my new course. I'm also extra content. I'm going to be interviewing some shakers, some real shakers and movers in the world. And I'm not going to tell you what the angle is on that. But anyway, thanks for following. And yeah, I won't go into what yesterday's was about, but it was about a bit of contraction. That's another talk for another time. So, thanks for visiting Tim's English Garden. Be well. Wait, that wasn't British. I got to come in like this. Thank you for visiting Tim's English Garden. I'm about to have tea, followed by a kip. And then I'm going to take out the rubbish, and then I'm going to use the loo. So, tally-o. Ta-ta.